News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis. Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
Welcome to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning.
I'm Allan Gilbreth with darkoakmedia.com.
And I'm Maximilian, and boy, am I loving this day.
Lay it on us.
I'd like to wish you all a very happy Champion Crab Races Day. Joe, you're clipping.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
You're going to have to explain this one, but I already love this. I'm writing this down as we speak, Max. So what is this Champion
National Crab Race? It's the Champion Crab Races Day.
That's, all right, talk to me.
All right, so the National Crab Racing Association, developed in 1979 by Jim Morgan, is responsible, the NCRA as they call it, is responsible for training the best of the best crabs in crab races. And they they get some of their best imports from hermit crabs at the Florida Marine Research, and the best crabs from training go on to the crab racing circuit in Canada, in the United States. And today we honor these noble crabs today.
Okay, my gosh. A million questions emerge here, Allan. What does PETA have to say about this?
Ow.
And are these crabs living the life? I mean, is this I mean, I'm sure they take care of them, they train them, they got to keep them healthy, right? So, and Allan probably knows exactly what's required to keep a crab in full fitness and at peak racing form, right?
The horrible, scary fact is, Joe, I actually do.
Yeah, I sort of knew that. And, okay, that one is pretty awesome.
Well, they're terrestrial hermit crabs. They're not like crabs out of the water.
Oh,
Okay.
but
These little guys live on land, climb trees, believe it or not.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, you can find them. You get down into the Caribbean and really southern into Florida, you will discover that critters show up in the darndest places.
Hey, Max, do they discuss the training involved? Like, how do they get them to go towards the finish line? You know, I mean, I don't know how they...
Uncertain, but I would like to give note of some fun crab facts, notably the smallest crab in the world and the largest crab.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Okay.
The smallest known crab in the world is a species called the pea crab, and it's only
Yes.
about 0.27 or 0.47 inches in length. And the
Yes.
largest is, oh boy, the Japanese
Yeah.
spider crab, and it can
Yes.
measure about 12 feet in length.
So when you do the Kaiju movie, you barely have to do any editing on that one.
No,
So
not
it's like,
much.
Or if you... Okay.
All right, here's one for you. What's the heaviest?
You tell me.
The coconut crab.
Okay.
They're like the size of a trash can.
All right, so, well, this is a good one. You guys got to leave a little material for our listeners, though, too. But if you want to tell us how you're celebrating Champion Crab Racing Day, hopefully doing it humanely and, and having fun at the same time.
Make sure you have enough butter to lemon juice ratio.
Yeah, exactly. Call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline at 901-683-0989. We also invite you to, no, actually, we don't invite you to watch the show today. You'll be looking at a blank screen, right? Because there's a reason for that, and it's as we told you last week, we are broadcasting live from the home show of the Mid-South over at the Agricenter. It's a little quiet here right now, Allan, because we beat everybody here. You know?
Oh, it won't be that quiet that long.
No,
So,
it's about to get rocking, and you really could not pick better weather because it's chilly out.
gorgeous.
Who wants to be at the park today? Come indoors. You can check out all of the action at the home show of the Mid-South, and it's really the best place to go if you want ideas for the latest in home design. Every kind of contractor is here, including our good buddy Jay Hill with Big M Roofing and Remodeling, who's got a contest going on, and we're going to announce that in just a minute. And he'll be joining us on the second hour of the show. Also, we invite you to go over to the Tool Talk Radio Facebook page and check out the posts we've made over there. One of the must-have item of the week is really just it's shameless promotion, but it's apropos, right, Allan?
It
Because
works.
of
It
what
works.
we're doing. But also, I'm really looking forward to our Great Moments in Building History discussion because we're going to be talking about, now we're going back in time to a very old structure called Hadrian's Wall, and it gives us an opportunity to discuss a woman named Queen Boudica, which is a really fascinating historical figure. Allan's Week in Review might turn into another one of these point counterpoints because off the air we were talking about it, and sorry, Allan, I'm not a fan, man.
Didn't say I was a fan. I just said I was doing it.
I guess if you get paid to do something, he did some work this week that I don't. I'm not. Like I said, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, you're just terrified of. It's all right.
Also, I've got a Tool Talk. I've got a Tool Talk Radio quick tip / science question for you, Allan, and maybe we'll discuss that when we get Jay because he's somebody that understands all about the exterior protection of your home. My question has to do with science and moisture content, some other technical things, I guess you could say.
Okay.
All right. So we got a lot, like I said, on the table. So we invite you to go over to the Tool Talk Radio Facebook page and check that out as well. But I do want to announce something. So here's the deal, folks. There's 2 ways to enter this contest that Jay Hill is putting out. This is it's easy, and it's a pretty nice prize. So he's giving away a $500 gift card for Home Depot, and all you have to do to enter is if you want to drop by the Big M Roofing and Remodeling booth, which you can't miss. I mean, it's a big 20-foot booth right next to our tent. We have the News Talk 98.9, the Roar tent, which is looking really good, I have to say. It's very well lit. Allan's giving away swag. He's got some pretty good swag to give away. But all you have to do is sign a thing. I think it's just basically give him your sign a card, and he's going to draw the winner next week on the show. So that way people that come tomorrow have a chance to enter. But Allan, our listeners don't miss out. They can. Okay. So if you want to call or text the show, Max is going to keep track of your name and number, and you have a shot at winning this $500. So there's really no reason to not get in touch at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling hotline, 901-683-0989, and send in your messages. And, of course, if you got questions or if you've got comments, we'd love to hear from you. You know, that's a good way to do it, but it's a pretty great prize, a pretty easy, pretty painless way to enter, Allan.
We can't win this, can we?
No. I mean, and none of your backdoor channels. Don't go getting your friends, I
already got 3 lined up. What are you talking about?
Okay. It's going to be fun, man. And the home show of the Mid-South is really, there's always a great energy here. And it's just, you meet a lot of people. You get great ideas. I'll tell you, you leave here inspired to go fix up your own home. And you get to see the latest in technology and everything. So it's pretty cool, and we're really looking forward to an exciting weekend. And like we said, the weather is ideally suited for an afternoon at the Agricenter. So
it's sunshiny, but yet it's that nice winter temperature. It's a good solid February day.
It's a good indoor.
It is. Great day to be in here.
So that's cool. So that's what we're doing, and we're also excited about getting out of here and celebrating Champion Crab Racing Day. So we want you to weigh in on that as well. You're listening to Tool Talk Radio here at News Talk 98.9 The Roar Memphis. Joining you from the Agricenter, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
When my new apprentice arrives, he will take care of you.
News Talk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to meeting his apprentice. I heard he's a cool guy.
Leave my cousin alone.
Oh, yeah.
He trained the crabs.
Exactly. And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from darkoakmedia.com and our pal Max over there behind the glass. You can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling hotline at 901-683-0989. And today is a great day to do it because if you do, you're going to automatically be entered to win a $500 gift card to Home Depot that Jay Hill is generously giving away. It's part of his promotion that's going on this weekend at the Agricenter. You can register by texting the show or calling the show and saying, hey, I want to win that $500 gift card. Max will take your information and save it, and then next week we're going to draw the winner, and that's a pretty great prize and a very easy way to enter. Also, if you come down to the Agricenter, we hope you're going to stop by both of our booths. We're set up right next to our good buddy Jay Hill. We're in the News Talk 98.9 The Roar tent, and Allan's got lots of good swag to give away. Good stuff. People have been coming up just for the swag too.
Oh yeah.
Booth bait, and also drop over and check out Jay's booth, and you can enter to win that $500 card. We don't have the cameras on, so we can't invite you to watch the show today, but we do invite you to go to the Tool Talk Radio Facebook page and check out the interesting posts we've made over there. Well, this is going to be interesting, Allan. Let's find out what you did this week.
Oh, the humanity.
And if you can still hear, that sound can only mean that we're going to visit Allan's Week in Review. Allan, when you told me what it is you did this week, you triggered me, of course. But
I got one word for you, Joe. One word and one word only.
Yeah.
Popcorn.
Yeah. You lost me at popcorn. So okay. Well, what did you do? Because I know you've been in the middle of this building. Hey, hats off. You've been taking video evidence, and you've been taking pictures. But you've been doing a pretty serious project.
Well, this week was one of those savoir fairs everywhere kind of things. First.
Remember, what does savoir faire mean? I've heard the word, but
that was a cartoon back in little
savoir faire is back like 80 years ago. But
yeah, but
right. That's the only stuff you reference. But okay, I don't remember what.
So my week begins with first off, a facility getting ready to have a paint party today, and their public bathroom basically looked like somebody had been was using a sink system from a baboon cage. Okay. It was terrible. It was old. It was awful. The other problem was it was not a standard sink. It was an elevated display sink. So you can't just go in and replace the plumbing because standard sink parts are designed for a sink to have an overflow.
Okay. You're using a lot of terms that I'm hoping everybody's following.
Well, we're just kind of looking at when you look at your regular sink
there's
at home.
There's a hole and
there's a hole, and
right.
what that means is basically your sink basin sits inside of another sink basin.
Right.
And that all drains down through the pipe.
Okay, somebody fills up the sink and forgets to turn it off.
And it overflows into the little spot and hopefully doesn't flood your bathroom.
Right.
So the problem with these new cute display sinks is they have no overflow. So you cannot use the same tools.
That's a good point, man. If you put the stopper in at the bottom and you forget or you lose
it's
track,
a bowl.
That thing's filling up.
It is going to fill up. And
right.
She was terrified that somebody was going to flood the entire downstairs of this place.
Yeah.
Because apparently it's happened before.
Yeah.
So we went in and put in a non-overflow strainer drain.
This isn't what you told me in the show prep.
I know, but we're getting there. Because this was...
You always have to build up to the big dramatic... Okay, now I'm writing down here. So sink... Okay, go ahead. Sink overflow.
The strainer drain, if you haven't noticed this, again, admit your usage.
Okay.
Because this is a public restroom. You don't need to stop the sink up.
Oh, this wasn't the house you were going.
No, this isn't the house. This was business number one.
Okay.
The house is going well. I'm mudding and taping at the house. We've talked about mud and tape plenty of times.
Yeah.
So business number one, the sink. And we went ahead and put in a strainer drain. Now, if you've seen these, they're just a little drain cover with holes in it.
Right.
Like a strainer.
Yeah.
Be honest. Do you really need to stop up the sink, or do you need to keep people from throwing things down in your sink?
Okay, in fairness, Allan, you and I don't have this challenge, but there are women in my house.
Yes.
And when they have hair, if they brush their hair, you don't want that you don't want it going down the drain.
Right.
That's what'll clog it. So I kind of see the whole point of a strainer drain, but they get kind of funky quickly. I'm not a
Not if you put in a good one.
Okay. All right.
So that's business number one. Business number one gets the strainer drain.
Okay.
Business number two. They had a water leak, and now they have a bare patch in their popcorn.
Finally. Okay,
Here we
we're
go.
Finally talking about that. Yeah.
Well, I got to torture you a little bit. I got to torture you a little bit.
All right. So
here's the option.
Popcorn ceilings, the scourge of humanity that we can't. Okay. All right.
All right. So right now, the client is making the decision of a lifetime.
Right.
Do they want this whole great big huge area flattened,
Yeah.
or do they want the popcorn put back?
Okay. I know what I'd vote for.
Yeah, well, most people would vote for removing the popcorn till they start removing it.
Okay.
Removing popcorn is it's horrible.
No, okay, see, that's the thing. Well, okay, you're right that it's horrible, but it's horrible for many psychological reasons. Because what's horrible is you might get up there with a scraper and literally scrape it off. It's done in 20 minutes. Or
maybe
because you don't know how they put it on.
Exactly.
If somebody didn't prime it well, or it's going to be a 2-week job and dust is going to get in every crevice in your house.
Yes.
And then it's going to tear up the ceiling, and then you got to float it, and you're going to be, cursing whoever put it in. So for me, that's the mental anguish is the worst part of a popcorn ceiling.
And that's exactly what we're looking at is
Right.
did they actually do what they were supposed to do? Did they
Right.
actually prime or paint
Yep.
the sheetrock before they shot the popcorn up there,
Mm-hmm.
or did they just shoot it straight onto the sheetrock?
Okay.
Because if they shot it straight onto the sheetrock, now it's 50-50. Is it going to be absolutely worst torture of your life,
Yeah.
or are you going to get up there with a spray bottle and it's just going to fall off?
Right. Yep.
And you really don't know until you get started.
No, you got to test it.
And it's not consistent from part of the ceiling to part of the ceiling.
Okay. Let me yeah, because people may say, I was scraping my popcorn ceiling.
Yes.
And it came right off in some areas, and it didn't come off in other areas.
Exactly.
Like the area where they floated it out with mud, it comes off there, or it doesn't. I guess it's harder to come off of the drywall paper, right? That's where it really
It depends.
adheres, and it tears it up. So.
And and it also depends on. This is kind of one of these horrible things. I'm going to go back to an old painter I used to work with. He used to joke with me all the time and tell me, he goes, Allan, when they put this room together, they closed the door, which meant nobody saw what happened in here. So,
Like a murder scene? Or
well, all right. And here's what happens
very
a lot of
sinister.
times, because they just hired laborers
Yeah.
to throw sheetrock on the walls, and then they were going to rely on the mudders to come in and solve all the problems.
Fix their damage.
So, believe it or not, when you're dealing with sheetrock, there's a right side and a wrong side. There's a reason there's a side that's nice and white, and there's a reason there's a side that's brown.
So you're saying people don't know this? You're saying people.
I find this
Allan,
all the
Please
time.
tell me you haven't seen somebody put in a piece of sheetrock backwards.
Dude, I find this all the time in commercial buildings, where
That's
you'll have a
horrifying.
white
How-
piece
okay.
and then you'll have a brown piece. And as you're working, it makes your life absolutely a nightmare.
I
So-
have to say I've never seen that. So.
Oh, I see
At
it
least as far
quite
as I know.
often. You rarely see it in a home because it's hard for a work crew to get out of sight.
Okay.
But in a
That's
larger
laziness
commercial
to a
space,
degree. Why don't you just?
oh, it's just horrifying. So, well, I told you, see, this is why I told the same story first, because I knew the minute we got onto the popcorn. And here's the other problem. What kind of popcorn did they use? There's all different kinds of brands,
Right.
and there's all kinds of different stuff.
There's different sizes. There's different grits.
Sizes, different makes, different effects.
Yeah.
Did they mix wall mud in with it? Did they mix in a certain kind of paint? You just don't know. This is the ultimate 30 years of stupid, because you really have no idea what the can of worms you're about to open up when you start fighting popcorn.
Okay, Allan, I'm calling you out here on the air with all of our listeners and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, we were talking about psychological torture and mental anguish. Here's what Allan does. He said, I put in popcorn ceilings. I
Yep.
said, who puts those in anymore?
I do.
You made it sound like somebody called you and said, I want a nice, shiny, brand new popcorn ceiling.
Well-
you didn't say you were repairing. There's a big difference between repairing or just adding it for a new. I don't know anybody putting in popcorn ceilings.
Actually,
anymore.
there are people still putting in popcorn.
If you're out there and you're a popcorn ceiling enthusiast, I'd love to hear from you, because I've yet to meet one person that likes popcorn ceiling.
Well-
Literally, I've never met anybody that likes them.
It is still being put in, because you can go to any big box store and all of the equipment is for sale. It's shiny, it's new, and people are buying Ristex.
Okay, but I assume you got the job done, right?
Well, we're going to find out Monday what the decision is, which direction we're going to go.
Okay, all right. Well, Alan, you got me fired up, and speaking of getting fired up, we're going to switch gears. We're getting to our great moments in building history this hour, because next hour we want to visit with Jay Hill, and it's going to be it's discussing a pretty fiery time in history while we discuss Hadrian's Wall.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
What kind of place is this?
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
It's the Agricenter. That's what it is, Max. We are here at the Agricenter for, that's all right, let me do this the right way. And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry, and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from darkoakmedia.com and our pal Max back at the studio. You can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling hotline at 901-683-0989. And today is a great day to do it. You probably can't hear because it's very quiet around here right now, but shortly it's about to get really busy. We are broadcasting today from the home show of the Mid-South over at the Agricenter. It's going on all weekend. It's a lot of fun. It's a great place to go to get ideas for your home, to meet top-notch contractors, and to see the latest in home improvement technology. And there's an even better reason to drop by, because if you drop by the Big M Roofing and Remodeling booth, you can, well, for one thing, you can meet Jay Hill in person, which in and of itself, that's worth the price of admission, Alan. But also, Jay is giving away a $500 gift card for the Home Depot, and it couldn't be easier to win. You basically put your name down, I guess, your phone number. He's got a basket there with all the entrants, and he's gonna pick a winner next week on our show. And also, if you're listening to the show, you can enter. You can call or text us, and Max will take your information. Hopefully, leave a nice comment about the show as well. But I think people are already chiming in, right, Max? So.
I mean, correct. We already had Gina, and she was really singing all of the station's praises.
Oh, good. Well, Gina, good luck to you. We sure appreciate it. So this is how much easier can we make it for you, folks? Just text or call 901-683-0989 and get in on the contest. So, and also we invite you, we're not on the News Talk 98.9 The Roar studio cams, because those are in the studio, obviously. But Ditch has posted a video over on the News Talk 98.9 The Roar's Facebook page, and you can kind of get a sense of what our booth looks like and a sense of what's going on here at the Agricenter. So check that out. So, all right, Max, I'm really excited about our great moments in building history.
And now, great moments in building history.
A bit redundant.
Yeah, one day I'm going to not do the redundant intro, Alan, but it won't be this day. So today we're talking about, pronounce it for me, Max, Hadrian.
Yeah,
Hadrian,
like Adrian.
not Hadrian.
I was calling it Hadrian. So no. Hadrian's Wall, which is a giant wall, it's 73 miles long. It was constructed in the year 122. It took about 3 years. We're going to get to that in a moment. We're going to talk about the construction, but before, you cannot discuss Hadrian's Wall without discussing a historic figure that I've really become sort of, I don't know, just sort of fascinated with. Her name is Queen Boudica. She is legendary in Britain, and I want to describe what she looks like for you, everybody. In stature, this is a quote from a historian, she was very tall in appearance and most terrifying. In the glance of her eye, most fierce, and her voice was harsh. A great mass of reddish hair fell to her hips, and around her neck was a large golden necklace. She wore a tunic of diverse colors, over which a thick mantle was fastened with a brooch. I guess this brooch was very historic, but basically Queen Boudica was married to a man that I could never pronounce his name, but it's, what is a Praesitagus? Do you know how to pronounce the name, Max? Anyway.
Unclear.
No, you're talking about Praesitagus?
Praesitagus.
He was the king of the Iceni people.
The Iceni people. He died, and this was the era of Nero. And if you want any more reasons to hate Nero, because what a jerk. basically, he was a good ruler of his people. They had sort of a treaty with Rome where they were basically able to live sort of relatively free without a lot of Roman interference, and they partnered, but they weren't necessarily conquered people. Well, as soon as he died, part of his plan was he left half of his wealth to his daughters and the other half to Emperor Nero. Well, that wasn't good enough for Nero. He wanted everything. He wanted to annex the whole country. So he basically, this is a family show, so I'm not going to tell you everything he did to this family, but he greatly mistreated Queen Boudica and her daughters, and that he was hoping to do that to make her calm down and basically go away, which had the exact opposite effect. She raised a rebellion. They massacred 70,000 Romans. She stormed through the country and basically rained terror on the Romans until they finally massed a massive assault. They put the rebellion down, and they said, you know what, we need to build a wall. And that's what they did, Allan. So, I mean, and this is your people. This is your ancient people, right? I mean, we're talking. Go ahead, Max. You wanted to chime in?
Yeah, it's my third cousin. Oh. Yeah, Joe.
She wasn't like Helen of Troy, who launched 1,000 ships. She was the woman who launched 1,000 bricks.
Yeah, or 1,000,000. I mean, but this is bricks. A big wall. But the way the country was, a 73-mile wall is a pretty massive undertaking. But the way the island and everything it's not an island, but the way it was structured, this would be a pretty effective way to keep the barbarians at bay. You could say so. But Allan, this was a military project. I mean, this was a massive military project because 15,000 soldiers built this thing.
Well, all right, let's tie this into just the everyday world.
Okay.
It is shocking to the modern person how durable something as simple as a stone wall can actually be.
Yeah, I mean, they just stack stones.
It is honestly soil, clay, and rocks. Mm-hmm. And that's well built. I mean, it was military precision and packed in and all that stuff. But, there are a number of these walls all throughout the world. And now with LiDAR, with laser, being able to do laser topography, mm-hmm. LiDAR, we are finding stone walls everywhere. And these things are still intact and still look like walls. Now, the advantage to the Hadrian Wall is that it's still above ground. Everybody knew where it was. Throughout history, somebody has owned it, farmed it, lived alongside of it, and basically taken care of it. And it is now a huge tourist attraction.
Oh, yeah. Well, we should say, too, so basically it was, like we said, about 73 miles long. It's about, at any given point, about it's probably 15 to 20 feet high. Sometimes higher, sometimes lower, or if it came up against a river or something, they just stopped and then
it was stopped and started,
had
right?
A bridge.
Yeah.
But also, we should say that every mile there was every mile there was like a watchtower, and then every 7 miles there was like a fort. So it was fortified. So within a reasonable amount of time, if an uprising happened, they could get the soldiers along there. But There were trenches. There was actually they fortified it with spikes. They didn't want these guys coming back. The Queen Boudica made an impression on them. It's like they're like, we don't want this to ever happen again. So it's like,
and then to have to sort of agree with you.
Yeah.
Once they had seen the success of Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah.
About 40 years later, they went to basically the southern border of Scotland, mm-hmm. and did the Antonine Wall.
Okay.
Not Antoinette, Antonine. And so there are actually two of these walls.
I thought there were three, but yeah.
Well, there are two major ones.
Okay.
And now when you get into all of the Roman fortifications, as many friends of mine in London will tell you, you can't dig a swimming pool on the British Isles without running into something from somebody else in antiquity.
Well, that's very interesting because I don't know why. I mean, it's for some reason I don't think of London that way, but man, London was right there in the thick of things in the Roman Empire, and there's some old stuff. There's even catacombs and things like that, right? I mean, there have been human habitations in cities when you get into Italy
in England and Germany and all these places, you have certain cities that can actually track their lineage back city after city for thousands of years.
Right.
And, for the United States, it's basically Boston.
Yeah.
And, we get excited at 200 or 300 years.
Yeah.
And, again, as a lovely relative of mine in Scotland put it, that's fun. We've got a pub older than your whole world. And it's like, well, yeah.
Well, I was going to say, like, I'm just looking at a few of these notes here. The fort, we talked about the forts.
Right.
Well, it's almost an understatement to call it a fort. These things housed hundreds of Roman soldiers. It had stables. It had you could almost call them restaurants. They had lodging. It was a pretty, I guess, fairly relatively comfortable place for the soldiers to live. And these things lasted for a good 300 years. I mean, they were functional.
Yes.
And the wall itself is still there. Now, if you look today, you're going to go, well, this wall doesn't look very impressive. It's like 5 feet tall. Well, there's a reason for that.
Well, the soil has risen a little since then.
Well,
and
repurposing.
It's
exactly
like
if you're saying, hey, because the Roman Empire is long gone, so if you're saying, I need to build myself a church, or I need to build myself a cottage, go grab the free building materials.
Right.
There,
and then you have the guy that went, I'd really like to raise cattle, and look, I have half a wall already built.
Exactly.
So I'm just going to tie in on this other piece over here. So when you begin to look at a construction like this, I want to bring up another one. Today we have no concept of the pain of logistics.
Talk to me.
So think about it. Every rock, every piece of dirt, everybody there had to have lunch.
Yeah.
You had to have
you had
sanitation.
15,000.
You had to have, so think of the logistics of getting the rock and the soil and everything there. And it's not like you've got parcel services bringing stuff to you.
You don't have a cleared road. You're going over hills.
If you want a road, you got to build it.
Right.
If you want a wall, you got to bring everything in. If you want to do all this. So the sheer logistics and management of these type projects really brings home the effort and the dedication it took to build anything, whether it was for war, whether it was for peace. You can look at a pyramid, the Great Wall of China. You look at Hadrian's Wall, and these things are still standing 1,000 years later, 2,000 years later.
Yep.
That's some construction.
Yeah, it's really fascinating because, I don't think they were building it with an eye towards, hey, we got to have this thing around in 2,000 years, and yet,
But they're thinking if we don't build it right, we're going to die.
Exactly. There's more to talk about with Hadrian's Wall. Very interesting point in history. We're going to do that when we come back here on Tool Talk Radio.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
I haven't seen you fellas since you destroyed my home, my land, and my rocket.
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
So the motif today is destruction and mayhem, eh, Max? Okay. And we'll come back to...
But it's also crabs.
I hear you. And crab. How has nobody chimed in on that yet? And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from darkoakmedia.com and our pal Max back at the studio. You can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline at 901-683-0989. And please do so because, among other things, I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know if you hear the background and everything, but we're here broadcasting from the home show of the Mid-South. It's a little quiet here, but it's about to get pretty jam-packed. You could not have picked better weather for a day at the Agricenter. It's a little chilly, so, who's tempted to go to the park or something?
It is a beautiful sunshiny day, but it is a little nippy, so come on inside and get some great ideas.
So exactly. You can see the latest in home improvement technology. You can meet some great contractors. Among them, our good buddy Jay Hill with Big M Roofing and Remodeling. He's right next to us. We're almost, you could say, sharing a booth. It's a big space here, and the reason we want you to especially to chime in today is Jay is doing a really cool giveaway. It's a $500 gift card for the Home Depot, and all you got to do to win is either drop by here, go check out his booth, and enter to win. Basically, he's just going to put your name on a card and everything. Or you can get in touch with us here at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline. Call or text at 901-683-0989, and you can enter to win. Max will take your name and number, and we're going to draw the winner next week because we want people that are coming in here tomorrow to have a chance to win as well. The studio cams aren't on, but you can still watch part of the show. Ditch posted a little video snippet of us, if you want to get a sense of what the booth looks like and everything and see some of the swag that Allan is giving away. Just go to the News Talk 98.9 The Roar's Facebook page. Well, we're in the middle of a really interesting discussion all about Queen. I keep saying Queen Boudica, the wall, Hadrian's Wall, which is a really interesting period in history that happened almost 2,000 years ago. We're going to get back to that in just a second. Before we do, though, we definitely want to talk about our good buddy Larry Brown with Brown Refrigeration because, we're here. We are always talking about great contractors, reliable, solid, rock-solid businesses, and you really can't do better than Brown Refrigeration. They check all the boxes, Allan. For one thing, they're always up on the latest technology.
They are indeed.
They have a proven track record of over 40 years. I mean, Larry Brown, he eats, sleeps, and dreams air conditioning. So that is his game, HVAC. And this is just something he's just very good at. He's created a great business culture over at Brown Refrigeration. And as such, you definitely want to get Brown Refrigeration out to your home. This isn't just something where you wait until your air conditioning unit goes out.
Yeah, it is the perfect time of year right now to start thinking it's about to get hot.
It is. I mean, it was hot yesterday.
It's like it might be 35 this morning, ladies and gentlemen, but it was almost 70 degrees this week. Right. It is time to get that AC checked,
and especially here in the Mid-South. But the HVAC unit is not just all about making your house warm or cold. It's about conditioning the air, and it's about the proper humidity, and it's also really about providing the cleanest air possible, which they do through the Remy Halo system. I mean, the Remy Halo system is really revolutionary. It puts out cleaning particulates. All of the air coming out of your system is now clean, and it cleans every surface it hits. It's just a great, we love Brown Refrigeration. We love their whole business concept. They have great financing. It's a relationship, and when you call, they answer their phones, which I always appreciate. So get in touch with our good buddy Larry Brown. You can call directly at 901-362-1881 or go to their website, brownref.com. In a second, we're going to get back to our great moments in building history discussion. But, Max, you said somebody texted in?
We had a texter that said, it's Robbie. They were wondering, how long are you guys going to be at the show today?
Allan, how long are you going to be here?
I'm going to be here till it closes.
Okay, Robbie, you heard it, and there's free stuff at the tables. Well, really, I mean, my suggestion, you get free stuff at almost every booth, too. Bring a little bag, and you're going to go home. Well, that's when I stock up on pens.
And so does this qualify him for entering into the contest?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, just save the name, Max.
Well, if he's going to come down, he can just put it in the box and meet Jay directly.
He can do it twice.
Yep.
I wonder if that's permitted. I think
one entry per person.
Okay, well, whatever. It's the same
Well, I'll
thing,
still get Robbie's name down.
Okay, save Robbie's name. So, okay, very good. So, get down here. It's a lot of fun. And also, we also didn't mention, go over to the Tool Talk Radio Facebook page and check out the posts we've made over there. So Allan, we were talking about Hadrian's Wall, which was really a reaction to the rebellion. You can't, if you're the Roman Empire, you think you can just march into any country, take over, impose your will on everybody, and they're just going to go along with it. Well, not everybody does that. And when they went to Britain, it's funny because we think of the British as so civilized and cultured and everything. Well, back in the day, they were pretty brutal, man. They were pretty barbaric, and Queen Boudica wasn't having any of it, man.
Well, you had a wide variety of different tribes, and everybody was kind of doing their own thing, and they didn't want to do the, everybody else's thing. And they would fight back, whether it was guerrilla warfare or whether it was, heads up, bring the army. Mm-hmm. And The thing I will give Roman construction was all about the utilitarian of logistics.
Yeah.
Did the wall stop them from coming over and raiding? No. Did it impede them from coming over and raiding and getting away with anything? Well, if you were trying to steal horses, how are you going to get a horse over a 15-foot wall?
Right.
You might come over and cause problems, but you really weren't going to get away with anything. There were also all kinds of little pits built all up along the wall, and these were filled with brambles.
Yeah, so if you had a battering ram, you weren't getting it over that ditch or through there or whatever.
You had to go literally run through like the blackberry bushes and get all tore up trying to get to the wall. So welcome to a combination of gardening, landscaping, and masonry work.
Right.
And the real secret to these stone walls is they were very rigid and hard on the outside, but most of them had a soil core, which also made them soft. Yeah. So that when you did hit it with the battering ram, it didn't actually shatter. It just kind of gave a little bit.
Okay.
So
I'm glad you said that, because this is a very good point. We talk about this in construction a lot. Sometimes you think your instinct is we have to make this as rigid and solid as possible. It seems to me the key, especially with like skyscrapers or some of the Japanese constructions, is you build flexibility into the design, right? I mean,
yeah, you have to.
It's if it bounces, that's a different thing than a rigid thing that's just going to collapse. Like, it's funny because concrete is very strong, but it's also brittle in its own way. If you drop a concrete brick, it'll shatter.
It's going to shatter. Next week's Allan's Week in Review is going to involve earthquake planning.
There you go, man.
Because I'm involved in a project with looking forward to, and the clients have offices out of town, and they're looking at rehabbing a building here in Memphis, and they had never crossed their minds that Memphis, Tennessee is in an earthquake zone.
There you go. Well, because we don't get them much, but we could. We're on a fault line.
We're on a fault line, so earthquake planning is something you have to put into every type of major construction.
There's something interesting about Hadrian's Wall, though, that's okay. So he died. Emperor Hadrian died, and then a new emperor, Antonius Pius, came along.
Right.
And they basically just abandoned the wall. They said, we're going to build a wall somewhere else, the one you were talking about.
They built it a little further up. Right.
And then the funny thing is, 20 years later, they're like, this isn't working. We're going back to Hadrian's Wall and reestablish it. And it was a real hassle, because now you're establishing a place where people have already made their homes and stuff. And it reminds me a lot of like I don't know, NASA or something. Depending on who's in charge, NASA is a big priority or NASA is not a priority at all. And it's interesting how you can have these building projects that they mean everything to one leader, and the other leader couldn't care less. I don't know.
Well, in the case
and how that affects history.
In this particular case, the political assumption at Hadrian's Wall was it worked and we're done. So now we're going to move a little further in, and that is not always true. Just because it's worked doesn't mean it's done, and doesn't mean we necessarily can assume we can move another 100 miles further north.
We know what happens when people assume, Allan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, please understand, there's no telephones in this day. There's no fax machine. News has to be literally carried by a person from point A to point B.
It's a very interesting study. There's lots of videos about it if you want to get on YouTube. Hadrian's Wall, and you can't help but study Queen Boudica at the same time. But a really interesting, great moment in building history. Well, Allan, hour one is in the can. It's starting to get a little busier around here. We're here at the home show of the Mid-South. And when we come back, we're going to visit with our good buddy Jay Hill from Big M Roofing.
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis. Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
And welcome to Hour 2 of Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from darkoakmedia.com. Our pal Max back at the studio, and our special guest I'll introduce momentarily. You can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling hotline at 901-683-0989. There's lots of reasons to do this today, especially, for one thing, today is National Champion Crab Racing Day. I don't know if you can bet in Vegas on this sport, Allan, or not, but it's...
I'm sure you can.
They bet on everything else.
I think you can in the Bahamas.
I would love to know, maybe in a future episode, Allan, we can analyze what goes into making a real champion crab. Like what exercise routines, what diet, what goes into really... getting those crabs in shape for the big race. So.
I've done the frog jumping contest too, so.
Okay, so we're gonna get so that you can weigh in on that. On a better note, though, there's a great contest going on. If you can hear, if you're just tuning in, I want to remind you that this weekend we are broadcasting live from the home show of the Mid-South over at the Agricenter. It's a great weekend to do this. It's perfect weather. It's sunny but cold, so it's a perfect day to go indoors, and visit, learn all about the latest in home improvement technology, meet some great contractors, including our good buddy Jay Hill with Big M Roofing and Remodeling.
Hey.
There he is, man. So, Jay, you've got something pretty good going on here this weekend. We've got you've got a contest, and you're giving away a $500 gift card for the Home Depot. Is that right?
We are. This is our 10th year at the home show of the Mid-South. It has always just been such a great experience for us, just getting to, to meet new prospective customers and getting to know all these vendors out here even is fun. And I tell you, we're always excited about this. We normally give away a couple $100 gift card. This year we thought we would up the ante a little bit. So, yeah, we are giving away a $500 Home Depot gift card that if you are coming to the home show today, you can register, while you are here. We're going to give it away next Saturday. I'll let you get into all the details, Joe, live on the show.
Yep.
So that's one way to do that. But there's other ways that I'm sure that you'll tell them about that can actually enter, which are real cool.
Well, we want everybody to have a shot at it because, we also, Jay, we have listeners from, other parts of the country too. So if you want to enter, it couldn't be easier. Just go to the Big M Roofing and Remodeling hotline, 901-683-0989. You can either call in or text your information, and Max is going to save all that. And like we say, next weekend we'll announce the winner because, the home show goes on through tomorrow, so it's only fair to let everybody showing up on Thursday, have a shot at it too.
Yeah.
And also the cameras aren't on because we're here, they're in the studio. But Ditch has posted some video, and I think he's even posted some photos of Jay Hill himself. So if you want to know what Jay looks like, head on over to the News Talk 98.9 The Roar's Facebook page and check
I hope
it
that
out.
after my weight loss.
Okay, you look pretty good, Jay.
Well,
you're
good.
well lit. It's
I'm
good
always decent from the neck up.
So Jay, what does this is where we met you, years back, and there's really no replacing meeting people in person. I mean, it's a great place to network.
Well, that's
and
what
meet
I was
new potential clients and everything.
That's what I was talking about when I talked about the experience of just meeting all those vendors and stuff, because that's exactly how it happened, Joe. I'm sitting over here in my booth, and you kind of walked up, and one thing led to another, and now we do this. I've been able to help both you and Allan get new roofs paid for by your insurance companies, and the rest is history. I mean, now we have a caller or two just about every week, call in and say, hey, that's what I'm looking for, somebody to help me navigate through this deal. I see all my neighbors and friends talking about, and coworkers, they're getting roofs, and they're saying their insurance companies are paying for theirs. How do you do that? Well, there's a lot to it, but that's what I do. So love to get those calls and love to assist anybody I can. Which, speaking of, our ice storm and this weather we've had in the last 60 days, it's mind-blowing how easy it is to get a new roof from your insurance company right now, just based on the storms that we've had in the last 60 days.
Well, this is the perfect time. Jay, you do, you're all about the exterior protection of your home, roofing, siding, gutters, windows. You do remodeling, but we always lean heavily in your roofing expertise. This is I have a testimonial on air. I mean, that's how we met you. At the point we met you, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I was really, every time it rained, I was dreading it. My roof was in bad shape, and and I'm like, I talked to so many people about, is my homeowner's insurance going to cover this? And every person I talked to, I got a different answer, and that's what attracted me to your booth, because you really showcased the fact that this is part of your expertise. And Jay, within months, we had a new roof, man.
Yeah, and I tell you,
exciting, man.
If there was any point we want to make this morning to make some clarification, it's what you just spoke to right there, Joe. This is average homeowner, and rightfully so. Wait a minute. Yeah, I know we've had storms, but my roof's 25 years old. There's no way the insurance company's going to pay for that. Mm-hmm. Here's what I want you to think about. What you think about if you've got a 25-year-old car and you've got it insured and you're in a wreck. Are they going to pay for that, or would you want them to? Absolutely. It has nothing to do with how old the roof is. What it has everything to do with is there any damage that's either wind or hail related?
Right.
If you've got that, it doesn't matter. So that's what you got to know.
Yeah, because this was actually at a point after one of those ice storms, and everything. And then shortly after, Allan had a roof, and then our buddy Brandon Olmsted.
That's
and
right.
It's really
That's
just,
right. I forgot about
so,
Brandon.
I mean, we love it. And we've turned you on to so many people, and so many referred your name. And that's something we're going to talk about in a little bit, too, because of your Better Business ratings. They just came out, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Better Business Bureau itself has always been there, which we've always been proud of, and we make sure that we keep up with folks. But there's been some independent vetting and surveys that have came out that we're real proud of, and I think that's what you're talking about.
Well, I've got it right here in my hand, so I'm just going to say, quote, unquote, I'm going to read it. And it says, Big M Roofing and Remodeling Services in Memphis, Tennessee, the highest rated roof repair companies out of, this number is scary, rated out of 369 vetted and reviewed in the Memphis area.
Wow.
So that's the 369 they got to. That's not everybody.
Yeah. A lot of that's about the online presence,
right.
Of these other companies that are in the business. And the things that they look at as I talk to them is Stickley and Company, or the people that conducted this survey, or all the things, reviews from Google, from Better Business Bureau, if you've ever had any negative hits, complaints, and so on. And it's just some little algorithm, and I ended up right there at top, and boy, you couldn't be any more prouder of that as a business owner.
Well, Jay's very humble about it, but that's a pretty big deal, man. So we're gonna continue to discuss this. You're listening to Tool Talk Radio. We're here at the Agricenter this weekend. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis. Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
Brought to you by Squid Motors. Every vehicle you purchase from our showroom comes with a free 10-foot live squid in the trunk. Get even more than you bargained for at Squid Motors.
Exactly. I mean, Jay, that's the only place you purchase your cars from, right? So
That is it. As a matter of fact, they've got that 50-50 warranty
exactly.
over there.
Yeah.
If one of the cars you buy from them breaks in half, you own both halves.
There you go. So Squid Motors, another top-notch sponsor of Tool Talk Radio. And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio. Coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning. Here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from darkoakmedia.com and our surprising Max behind the glass.
Got to keep it aquatic on National Champion Crab Races Day.
Exactly. And we're also here with our good buddy Jay Hill from Big M Roofing and Remodeling. And it's a great day to call because, among other things, as Max just indicated, today is National Champion Crab Racing Day. And we would love to know how you're celebrating. If you have a crab racing team out there and you have a training protocol that you want to teach it, I'm very curious about the sport. Jay, I know you go to Vegas regularly to bet on this, don't you?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I've got a championship crab racing team.
Okay.
I do.
Okay, well, here we go. So this is the time to weigh in. Go to the Big M Roofing and Remodeling hotline, 901-683-0989. And but there's a bigger reason, because Jay, you pulled out all the stops. You're doing a giveaway, a $500 Home Depot gift card. Tell people how to register to win, man.
Well,
So-
obviously, we're at the home show of the Mid-South, as everybody probably knows by now. So you can register, of course, in person here at the show. We are yoked with you guys this year and literally have a 30-foot booth here where the radio station and Big M are connected. Got the entry forms right here. Just your name, address, and phone number. Won't call you unless you win, unless you do have a desire to take a look and get an estimates or talk about a project that you've got coming up. So you can do it that way. And then, of course, you guys have made some ways available to folks that aren't coming to the home show that couldn't be any easier. I've never even heard of this.
Well, if you're not here, don't worry. You can still win. We've had people calling in and checking in. You can call or text the Big M Roofing and Remodeling hotline, 901-683-0989, and say, I want to win this $500 gift card. And Max will take your number and your name, and we're going to announce the winner next week because we want to give people, throughout the weekend a chance to enter because the show goes on till tomorrow. So we're over here, as we said, at the Agricenter. It's been a lot of fun, Jay. I mean, there's a lot, and I want to ask you guys about that a little later in the show because we're seeing some interesting stuff every year. Something new comes out, some new technology or whatever. But Jay, we were really singing your praises. You're very humble about this, but the Better Business Bureau rankings came out. Allan just read this. 369 vetted reviews, and you were the number one out of that. So, I mean.
Well, it wasn't 369 reviews. It was out of 369 companies.
Oh, okay, even bigger.
Well,
I mean,
and these are the ones that were vetted. These are the ones they could confirm. So, talk about a competitive industry. You're up against, 500 some odd other people in the area.
I had no idea it was that many. Holy smokes!
And this brings up another point. This is going down a rabbit trail a little bit, but I think it's important and worth noting that our business is like it changes so much. There are so many people that get in this business and literally are gone 60 days from now. I was talking to my BBB representative the other day, and they said that, when you started, Jay, when you got accredited with the BBB, do you realize that 50% of those people are not even in business today? They literally are in and out. It's like something that everybody, for whatever reason, thinks that they can do. But at the end of the day, everybody can't do it. And I say that because I think it's so important that you know who you're yoking with when you're doing a home project, that you know who's on your property. Of course, Ditch will be the first one to tell you, I know they do the scams deal with the BBB. I listen to all the time. And I'm constantly, at least 4 or 5 times a year, I'll be with somebody, typically a widow or a widower, who literally some guy who says he's a contractor's come in. She's given half the money for the materials, and they can't find him, and he's gone. And that's devastating when you're on a fixed income.
Sure.
So one of the things we do, especially at the show, but when I meet someone face-to-face, is I give them what I affectionately call my kit. And my kit is a series of about 8 documents that are stapled together that have all the services that we offer, my general liability, workman's comp, my license from the state of Tennessee, our business license, any type of review stuff that they may want to look at, our Master Elite certification from GAF. Mm-hmm. That way you're not hunting and trying to find things. I'm going to give it to you. And, of course, a big list of references on the back as well. These things are also all available if you just go to bigmroofingandremodeling.com, which is our website, and all these documents we post there as well. But being transparent, somebody coming up to you and putting this stuff in your hand up front and say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I want you to consider about me, about moving forward with your project. I think if you're not doing that, then you're missing the boat.
Yeah, and you said something very important because, I mean, a roof, okay, it's one thing to, I don't know, build a fence for somebody. It's fairly safe unless you dig through like a water line. Well, a roof, if you just let anybody on your roof, and for one thing, if they damage it or they hurt themselves or they drop something on your neighbor's house or the roof, you don't want just anybody on your roof. Like you said, you need to know that they're insured. You need to know that they're qualified.
Yeah, and then, sometimes, and a lot of people get a couple of estimates and stuff like that, which I certainly advise doing. So important there, I think, to, match apples and apples. Sometimes I'll follow up with somebody, and I'll say, "Hey, where are you with the decision on your roof?" And they say, "Yeah, well, we might go with such and such company. They're about $1,500 less than you are." I said, "Do you mind sending me the estimate? Can you take a picture of it and send it to me?" And then you look at it and you see why. I mean, there's taking shingles off and putting shingles on.
Right.
Some people call that getting a new roof.
Right.
And I guess theoretically it could be. And then you look at what we do, where we're going all the way down to the decking. We're putting all the leak barriers in. We're using a real starter strip. We're using everything from the factory, everything that GAF makes. We're changing out all your boot pipes. We're using a Timberline GAF shingle that comes with a lifetime non-prorated transferable warranty. We're painting all your pipes when we get finished to match the color of the roof you selected. And then we're going to do a cleanup that'll just,
And you know what? It doesn't drag on you had our roof done in like a day. I mean, there was a little touch up the next day, and that was it. And we had a very complicated with like 2 layers on there. So.
Yeah, 2,500, 3,000, 3,500, up to 4,000 square foot home. We're going to do that in a day. And of course, the pitch and where the roof's located has something to do with the timing I'm telling you about. But unless you live in a junior college, we're going to get most of them done in a day.
Well, we always talk about business culture, especially like with you and our good buddy Larry Brown with Brown Refrigeration. It must translate into, because you got great installers, you've got a great team. So when you treat them right, when you're qualified, when you train them correctly, that's why you can retain the best. I mean, that's...
Yeah, exactly. And I tell you what, the relationship, I think everybody that's a business owner, or even, you don't even have to be a business owner, but you definitely know as a business owner that, man, the environment, as you said, Joe, that's out there right now trying to hire, train, and retain qualified people is a super, super challenge. And we're just happy that we just try to be fair on all fronts. I mean, not only do I have to be the best I can be in front of my customers, I've got to be the best I can be for the guys that work for us as well. And, man, we've got some good ones. I could not be any prouder of our crews. We have very, very, very few, as we call, comebacks every now and then, just because we're human. There might be some slight detail that might get missed, but we're always Johnny on the spot with that. As a matter of fact, a good example of all that is that with the weather we've had over the last 60 days, a lot of the roofs that we've laid in the last 4 or 5 years, we've experienced this ice damming again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where this water's starting to back up the shingles and come in the house. And as a homeowner, the first thought that goes through your mind is what? Something wrong with my roof. Let me call Jay. And I appreciate the fact that they call me. But we go out and we take a look at it knowing full well 9 out of 10 times it's not going to be anything with the installation of the roof. The water's coming in from somewhere else, or they've got a new insurance claim as it relates to the ice damming.
Okay, well, explain exactly what is ice damming for people that don't get that.
Okay. Well, there's a bunch of ways that it occurs, but this is the way that it happens here. Typically what happens is when we get these freezing temperatures, but rain preceded it, for instance. So you got this moisture coming down. It starts to freeze. It fills up gutters, okay?
Right.
There's nowhere for it to go. Just imagine your gutters being frozen to the top, but the precipitation is still coming. Then it'll start melting. This water's got to have somewhere to go. It starts backing up your roof instead of going away from it like it should. And then the heat of the inside of the house will get to it eventually, and that water will literally start coming in your house. And you think, you do sort of have a roof problem there, but that will go away once this stuff all melts away. It's not like you've got a damaged shingle 9 out of 10 times. It's not like there's any damage up there to consider. It's just that the ice damming in itself, that phenomena of it, has let this moisture into your house. I looked at probably 25 of those the first 3 weeks, some of which I installed the roof, some which I did not. And they were all, except for one, ice damming. The other one was a tree branch broke and actually speared a shingle. And water was coming in there.
And Jay reacts and he shows up like he's supposed to.
I do.
Well, you're listening to Tool Talk Radio. We hope you're going to show up here at the home show of the Mid-South. We're here at the Agricenter all weekend, and we want you to come by and say hello. We're going to take a quick break, then we're going to continue visiting with our buddy Jay Hill from Big M Roofing and Remodeling.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
I've been going door to door looking for fire hazards. Mind if I give your place a little inspection?
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
Okay. Sure, come on in, buddy. They can't go wrong. Okay. And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Doors, Hammer, Carpentry, and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from darkoakmedia.com. Our pal Max back at the studio, and a man who has no respect for the time clock and doesn't care that we're live on location, our good buddy Jay Hill with Big M Roofing and Remodeling. Just go off, Jay. Go get yourself a breakfast and go to the, talk while we're just coming in, distract everybody, and no problem. We're pros.
I hope nature doesn't call on you the next 20 minutes, Joe.
So that's what we deal with to bring you Tool Talk Radio. You can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling hotline at 901-683-0989, and there's lots of great reasons to do it. For one thing, you can talk to our pal Jay Hill. If you got any roofing or remodeling questions, anything to do with the exterior protection of your home, it's a great day to do it. Also, when you call or text today, you'll be automatically entered to win a $500 Home Depot gift card that Jay is giving away. It's part of his promotion here all weekend at the home show of the Mid-South over here at the Agricenter. So you can do it, by calling in, or better yet, if you're coming by the home show, come by and talk to Jay. We're set up right next to him too, so it's a 2-for-1. You can come. Get your roofing questions answered, anything for the outside of your home. Also, enter the contest and then step on over to the News Talk 98.9, the Roar booth. And Allan brought the swag. He's giving away some cool stuff and the elusive Tool Talk Radio tool belt, which is a great one.
They're gone.
Oh, they're gone. Oh, see, you wait too long. You snooze, you lose. They're gone. Okay.
That was last night, baby.
We got lots of great other swag. But, Jay, it occurred to me, we've been talking to you all morning about Big M Roofing and Remodeling. We haven't given your contact number. So let's do that right now. How do people get in touch with you?
You can call me direct at 901-484-5645. That's 901-484-5645. Or you can certainly go to our website at Big M Roofing and Remodeling, spelledout.com, where you can see what I think is one of the better roofing websites or construction websites in town. It really has a nice mix of our gallery, our products, what we do, a place to request an estimate. I mean, it's a really nice, informative website. And let's say this right now while we can. Although we're primarily a roofing contractor, we do anything that's associated with an insurance claim. So we do windows, siding, painting, gutters, shutters, patio covers, wood replacement, fencing. Anything exterior and the little bit of inside that we'll do is generally painting and drywall, maybe wood replacement, stuff like that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So and call Jay. When he says directly, he's not kidding. So I always encourage you, just for fun, to call him at inappropriate hours. Call him at 2 a.m. Call him during the big game. Call him whatever, and just see and put that to the test. But hey, Jay, in a minute we're going to get back to some of our discussion, because it's always great having you on the on site, and we always learn a little bit when we're talking to you. But we want to get to our must-have item of the week, because this is actually pretty cool. Max, there we go. Allan, I posted pictures. I can't hold this up to the camera, but it's on our Facebook page, and tell people it's pretty shameless, but what are our must-have items?
We have amazingly cute refrigerator magnets.
There you go.
What a great way to communicate with the family, other than leaving that note tagged to the refrigerator, because sooner or later everybody in the house is going to go to the refrigerator.
Well, I give Allan a lot of grief, but when it comes to swag, Dark Oak Media really stands alone. You've got the tool belts, you've got refrigerator magnets, you've got clips, you got them, and they're displayed very nicely. We've got a collection here. We've got the Tool Talk Radio, and bags.
Yeah, we got some great bags.
Those are actually really good. But the Tool Talk Radio magnet, the Cooking Today show, the Let's Plant Something with Allan Gilbreth, pretty nice one, and of course the the very hard to find Geek Tank Radio,
Yes.
refrigerator magnet, very nice, and so it's, we don't shameless plug too much, but this is the time to do it, and it really is. Refrigerator magnets are universally useful. I mean, they do the job, so.
And it doesn't hurt to keep our name out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can find us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We are a full podcast. We are, of course, on the 98 Geek Tank Radios on the 98.1 webpage.
Right.
And we're on the 98.9, of course, with the Roar. But we are also featured on YouTube.
Yep.
So you can pop over to tooltalkradio.com and you can honestly find years of back content. Feel free to binge us and take us with you.
Absolutely. So that's our must-have item of the week, and it really links in, Jay. You're not to be outdone. Your booth has got quite a bit of swag as well. I mean, what do you call that? Booth bait or chumming the water?
Oh, he's got a chum bucket over there. He is. I see Rice Krispie treats. I see all kinds of chips, and he has got some serious booth snacks.
You got any pens left? That's what I always snag.
Low on pens, yeah, low on pens, and you need those when you're registering for a giveaway too.
Yeah.
So I'm low on pens, so like everybody that's registering for the gift card, it's like they're walking off with a pen. I'm like, wait just a second.
I need my
Can I
pen
trade
back.
your Rice Krispie bar for that pen?
Well, Jay, the booth. Okay, let's just say this: the home show of the Mid-South. There is a lot going on here. There's a lot of booths. And ever since we've known you, I mean, for years, your booth is always very active. There's got to be a reason for that. And I'm kind of curious, like, what brings them to the booth besides the free Rice Krispie treat? I mean, they're obviously talking to you about their situation.
I hope anybody could detect a little humility in this, because I really mean this just sincerely. I believe that the success we have at the show is because I am out here trying to talk to people.
Right.
I'm not sitting behind a booth, not taking anybody else's inventory, just talking about what we try to do. We are engaging people. We're encouraging them to come register. I'm asking them as they're walking by, what project are you guys contemplating while you're here this weekend? Which is a great segue, obviously, because most people are definitely here because they're thinking about doing something with their home or their business.
Right.
And a lot of people, do it a little bit more laid back. They'll sit back there and wait for somebody to come and say, hey, I want to buy a roof. Can I get a quote from you? You're not going to talk to a whole lot of people like that, I don't think. That's been my experience. So I think I attribute the activity we have just because we're actively trying to engage people. I want to get to know people. And if you don't need something right now, I want to make enough an impression on you that when you do need something that hopefully you'll remember us and give us an opportunity to be of service.
Well, when I'm looking at your booth, one of the things that I think, folks, if you're out there and you've never displayed at a show or if you've never had to display your business, a little tip for you is you better give people a compelling reason to stop by your booth, because you're one of probably 100 others. Well, Jay, your booth that's how we met you. This booth answers questions that probably a lot of people have. It's like, okay, I'm seeing all these insurance companies that you work with to help determine if you've got issues with your, an insurance claim or something. Well, that's on a lot of people's mind. Every one of us has a roof.
Yeah.
And we have to have it, and we have to take care of it. And boom, you're there answering a fundamental question. So
yeah, and I tell you, so just to give folks an idea like how this works out here is that literally if we start talking for whatever reason, they'll register for the giveaway, of course, that we're giving away the Home Depot gift card, and I'll just kind of ask them, so hey guys, what kind of shape's your roof in? Funny you should ask, Jay. That last storm, and then one thing leads to another. We'll literally set an appointment right here after I share my credentials with them and answer any pre-questions that they may have. And then we'll set something up, and we'll just kind of take it step by step. Everybody doesn't have a way to go with insurance, but it really does all start with a qualified inspection on your property to see if you might meet that protocol for your particular insurance company.
Well, one thing that I see you doing a lot of is explaining the changes in roof technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, and technology is an important word. These are systems.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
30 years ago when I was a youngster, I was in the automobile business for a little bit, and I just remember what a car used to be like then. And I remember the years that were like within 3 years of each other where anti-lock brakes came out and then airbags.
Right.
And I want you to, a lot of people won't be able to remember a car before those things because that's all they've seen. But if you're old like all of us are, sort of, you realize that we've come a long way since the horse and buggy. Business and technology, and especially in the construction trades, is no different. And the quality in the technology in the roofing products that are available today are mind-blowingly different than they were 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And they just last. We know more today. We know that, for instance, that ridge vents is going to take 25, 30 degrees out of an attic. Therefore, not cooking those shingles on the inside up in that attic and the outside, which they've proven could take up to 25% of the life expectancy away from your shingles. All those things. Building a good roofing system with the right components, with the right manufacturer, that's the key to it, and the right contractor.
Backing it up. Hey, Jay, tell people how to get in touch with Big M Roofing.
901-484-5645. That's my direct number. I'll even take calls today if I can get to it. 901-484-5645. And, of course, you can always go to our website, bigmroofingandremodeling.com, and request an appointment or a phone call, and I'll call you just as humanly can. So.
And just a reminder, if you're just tuning in, Jay's doing it's a big giveaway, $500 gift card to the Home Depot that it's very easy to enter. I mean, it doesn't cost anything. You can either call the show or text the show at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling hotline, 901-683-0989, or better yet, come meet Jay over here at the Home Show of the Mid-South and just drop your name in the bucket, right? And,
yeah, that's simple. Grab you an Oreo cake, sure, some Cheez-Its or a Rice Krispie bar. And, love to talk to you about any type of project that you may be thinking about or have questions about. And if it's not something that I do, I've got a lot of resources to lead you in the right direction.
And you got all week.
Can be beneficial.
You got all weekend to enter, and we're going to announce the winner next week. You're listening to Tool Talk Radio. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
I'm here to clean the carpets. Most of the world is carpeted, and one day we will do the cleaning.
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
I mean, that's all well and good, but I hope when they monopolize this thing, they don't raise their rates so high you can't afford it. I mean, Anyway, welcome back to Tool Talk Radio. Don't look at me that way, Jay.
No, I was just thinking how they really should have been saying the world is wood flooring today, and one day we'll be cleaning all the wood flooring because that's changed.
Yeah, this quote hasn't aged well at all. A little dated reference there, Seinfeld.
Okay.
And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from darkoakmedia.com. Our pal Max back at the studio, and our good friend Jay Hill with Big M Roofing and Remodeling. There's just enough time to get in either a question or a call at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling hotline at 901-683-0989. And just a reminder, you can also, this is a very easy way to enter the contest that Jay's got going on this weekend. We're, as you can hear, we're here at the Home Show of the Mid-South over at the Agricenter. Broadcasting live. Jay's got a $500 gift card that he's giving away. Very easy to enter. You can either enter this way through the show, or better yet, drop by the booth, meet Jay in person, and just sign your name and drop it in the bucket.
Love to meet you.
Max, you said somebody else is.
We just got one. We got another one. They say Norman Rockwell here. Enter me in that gift card giveaway.
Norman Rockwell, so a ghost. What are we are ghosts qualified to win, Jay?
I suppose.
If they got a roof.
Norman Rockwell?
If it's A.
Well, I mean, how are you going to identify yourself to come get the gift card? You say you're Norman Rockwell, but you don't have an ID that says that.
It's like Tim Taylor.
This could be problematic. Okay, so Norman Rockwell's in the contest.
That's right.
You got everybody listening to you, Jay.
Dude, there are a lot of names out there that get reused. It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, there may actually be another Norman Rockwell. Okay, very good. So that's what you do. Also, the studio cameras aren't on. However, if you want to get a look at what's going on here live on the spot, go to the News Talk 98.9 The Roar's Facebook page. They posted some video of part of the show. They posted pictures of you, Jay.
Oh, wow.
You're on Facebook. So if you want to see what Jay Hill looks like, that's a great way to do it. You guys, what is we're going to be getting off the air shortly and walking around and meeting a lot of the contractors. What's some of the cooler things you've seen this weekend? I really like those electric bikes over there.
Yeah, those are cool for sure.
Man. Yeah.
These guys over here that do these real nice patios with the stones and the beautiful wood carvings and stuff. That's really some good looking stuff.
Yeah,
there's some beautiful woodwork here, some great looking pergolas. The stonework people always look amazing.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, the one that caught me off guard that I thought was just absolutely stupendous was the guy doing chicken coops.
Yeah, leave it to Allan to zero.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at Brandon, man. Brandon agrees. These were awesome, and keeping birds is now becoming a big thing again.
Oh yeah.
So, nobody wants $5 eggs again.
Yeah, well, exactly. So I mean, as I walked through and I looked at this, I mean, this wasn't some little rickety little construction. This thing was nice.
Did I ever tell you that 3 years ago that I opened up my front door and there was a chicken out there? I mean, this is in a neighborhood.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, and you can hear them sometimes in the distance. People have chickens.
Oh yeah.
Brandon, you got chickens in your neighborhood. Yeah.
Every neighborhood's got them.
You're not supposed to have roosters in the city limits, though. That is against code, by the way.
Yeah, you don't want to annoy your neighbor. Be a good neighbor.
Some people don't mind, but you're not supposed to.
How about those live edge tables over there? Boy,
those
are
beautiful.
I mean, they got to weigh a ton, but there's some of that.
Nice.
And some of them have the resin in there. I thought they did the resin very well because sometimes, when you can overdo it, make it too colorful and flashy. They did it very tastefully, But
yeah.
I was also impressed with these umbrellas over here. These are, mobile and portable. We're talking umbrellas they're basically a 10 by 10.
It's almost a tent. Yeah.
Right.
That thing is huge.
I'm also encouraged because just when you start giving up on the younger generation, I met a couple guys over there. They're brothers. They made, 21-year-old kid. They're welding and making their own custom trailers, and they put together a really nice product. They're over there.
I saw that.
Set up.
Beautiful.
That is nice. Yeah. Looking good.
Very cool. Some lighting technology. There's a nice exterior lighting vendor that I met. They do, because think of it, we're almost in a lighting revolution, Allan.
Yes.
You could say, just lighting technology over the last 15 or 20 years is nothing. Driving down the street, I like these new street lights. I don't know about you. Our street is well lit. It looks better. It's our home lighting, everything's
well. We've had such a swing of. We went from dim bulbs that lasted forever to brightly burning bulbs that don't last too long. We moved into fluorescence.
Yeah.
And now we're literally using the waste product of a semiconductor. Welcome to LED lighting. Talk about technology. It's phenomenal stuff. And it's greatly reducing heat. It's greatly reducing energy usage. And it is a very integral part of everything we do going forward.
Yep.
Because let's face it, how you light something, how you lay it out, how you work your blinds and your natural light, and all has a dramatic effect on the appeal of a building.
And it creates a certain mood and a certain vibe and security. If you have a well-lit home.
These guys over here that do the outdoor lighting stuff, man, I tell you what, they've got some beautiful stuff. And it's amazing the curb appeal your home can have, adding some exterior lighting like that, some low-voltage stuff, really.
One booth, and I was hoping she'd come over. We met a young lady. She's a 21-year-old, another entrepreneur. She's actually a big fan of talk radio. She was going to come by and check out the show. But they do, among other things, stuffed animals featuring aromatherapy options for your baby. They explained it to me. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, so in other words, what we're saying is don't come here with preconceived notions. I mean, Jay Hill's booth is worth the price of admission alone, but there's a lot of other things to do, too.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, and then, of course, you've got, the people doing the roasted nuts. You got different food vendors.
Yeah, then you've got the guy over here selling the first sinks. You've got the gasoline-powered turtleneck sweaters.
Yeah.
But there's the really nice knife display. Really nice knives over there. There's some cooking pans. Just a wide variety of anything for your home and garden is here.
Yeah, and it gives you ideas, and it gets you motivated to do something.
Well, I'll tell everybody, if you're going to steal an idea, steal from the best.
Absolutely.
Come look. Come get an idea. The great thing about walking through someplace like this is you may not have had the thought that you can do this. Right. Well, I just got this patio back here. Well, what could you do with that? Could we bring a cover over? Could that be roofed and made a part of the house? Can we enclose
could it be
something?
An addition?
Can we, do you have room for an addition? Did you want a fire pit? Do you want a fish pond? Do you want to? And of course, there's a lot of people here that really think you need a jacuzzi.
Or an
you need a hot tub.
Yeah.
So there's just so much at a place like this, and this is not a small show.
No.
This thing is four different buildings of the Agricenter?
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's a perfect day. Like we said, it's sunny and cold. You couldn't get more ideal weather for a show.
In some years, 15 to 20,000 people over the 3-day event.
Yeah,
easily.
I mean, where are you going to go and find 100+ vendors that are specifically have those things that one would want for a home where you can do one-stop shopping. Heated today, by the way. Know it's cold outside today. Not going to be able to do too much outside. This is a great way to spend your Saturday. Stop by and take a look at everything that's going on.
Jay, one last time, how do people get in touch? Because, if they can't make it down here and they want to talk to you, how do they reach you, man?
Just give me a call at 901-484-5645. 901-484-5645, or you can always go to the website, BigMRoofingAndRemodeling.com.
And just to recap, it's a $500 Home Depot gift card that's being given away. So get down here. You got about a minute to text Max and say, hey, I want this. So otherwise, you got to sign up in person. So
there you go.
And apparently, Jay he's made an executive decision that later on tonight, in honor of National Champion Crab Racing Day, you're throwing you're going to have crab racing at your home tonight.
No, it's a crab boil.
Oh,
the losers of the race. The losers of the race are going into the
you want to know how to motivate them? A little butter.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for dragging that into the gut. Yeah, and Allan, of course, knows all about those preparations. So, all right. Well, hey, it's going to be
Larry
a lot of
Lobster,
fun.
right?
Absolutely.
We hope you're going to drop by the home show of the Mid-South at the Agricenter. It's going on all weekend. We're here right now. And just, come meet us, get some swag, and say hello. But it's time to get out of here, you guys. The clock waits for no one. So on behalf of my buddy Allan Gilbreth, our pal Max back at the studio, and our good buddy Jay Hill, I'm Joe Thorderson. Thanks for listening to Tool Talk Radio, and we'll see you next week.